So whether you're aiming for that next promotion or you just need some guidance on how to showcase your value at work in just new, fresh ways, I have some good advice for you. I got you. My name is Sarah Camillo. I'm a certified career coach and a certified resume writer. The advice I'm going to share here today, I'm sharing from my own years of work experience, some stupid things I've done, some lessons I've learned, trial and error, but ultimately what I'm sharing are those pieces of advice and those suggestions and tips that have led to new jobs for me, led to promotions for me, and just overall career success. Let's dive in. I have 7 tips for you, and I know you haven't heard of all of these, so take notes. First one is play the corporate game. Now hear me out on this. Early in my career, I was interviewing for a promotion. I made it to the final round, yet I didn't get the job. But the feedback that I received from some other senior leaders in the company really stuck with me. So their feedback was, we know Sarah, but we don't know Sarah. So to be honest, at first I was annoyed. I didn't know what that meant. I often worked with the mindset of let my results speak for me, let my hard work show that I am ready for that next job. However, looking back and after a couple of years of not getting it, looking back, I really understood where they were coming from. I thought I was doing all the right things, yet what I wasn't doing was playing the corporate game. What that game is showing your full self, professionally and personally, making sure those senior leaders know who you are. Ultimately, it's important to show who you are outside of your job too. So how are they going to know that I can sit at the table with the new people in this new role, or new leaders in this new role, or a new department in this new role? And you need to portray that. So I hadn't shown that side of me, and it ultimately hurt me at that time. So don't make the same mistake that I did. Put in the effort to let people get to know you personally and professionally. Now, how do you do that? I'm going to help you in the upcoming tips. Number 2, mentors or advocates. Many companies already have a mentor or mentee program already established in their organization. If your company has that, get involved. Get involved right away. Find a mentor within the company. Maybe next year find another one as well. All of that is super helpful. Now, if your company doesn't have this program already set up, that's okay. You can find your own. Find a leader within the organization that has been there a long time, has a really good reputation, a very positive brand, and so forth. Somebody that you admire within the organization. What you can do is set up a time to meet with them for lunch or coffee, and you set the agenda for that conversation. Let them know you're looking for a mentor and an advocate within the organization to help you achieve your career goals. And then ask about their availability, whether that is once a month or maybe it's every 6 weeks where you meet for lunch, meet for coffee. Work around their schedule, of course, but it'll be important for you to let them know what your career goals are, and so that they can help you along the way. I remember I got involved in this when I worked for Kohl's back in the day, and Kohl's had this awesome thing every Thursday in the cafeteria where they had dollar cookies, and these cookies were amazing. They were warm, like my mouth just watered a little bit. But anyway, that was where we met. I think we met every 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and that was where we met. And that way everybody wins. Everybody's excited for a cookie too. It's a little bonus. But you make it your own, but have that conversation with them. Find your own mentor to help guide you in your career. Number 3, join committees, or if your organization has the DEI organizations like ERGs, which are employee resource groups, BRGs, some companies call them business resource groups. And these are the groups that are really focused on getting to know other people within the organization. So some may be a women's network group, or one may be a Black professionals network. Another could be Asian Alliance. Another could be the LGBTQ and allies group. Things like that, all of those things that meet outside of your day-to-day responsibilities. It's an excellent way to meet new people, to kind of observe, sit back. Maybe you'll get inspired to find a mentor through one of those groups. These are also a great place where you get to build your brand too. Really speak up. Don't just be a quiet member in the meetings. Really speak up, give your thoughts, give your advice. Attend the meetings, whether they're over video or in person, whatever that is. Get involved and really share your own ideas. Get to know people outside of your own team. Number 4, happy hours, annual meetings, holiday parties. Now, I could have combined this with number 3, yet for one main reason I didn't. These are usually a much more relaxed environment, typically involve alcohol. I used to live in Wisconsin. Everything involved alcohol. So therefore, these type of events can make or break your career. At one company I worked at, I'm not going to share it at this time, but we had 2 annual events, and it was for all managers and above. So a couple thousand people attended these events. And they were always either in Orlando or somewhere else, another state. when I first attended mine, my boss had said, at least one person gets terminated every time after every one of these events. And you know what? He was right. At every event, they were 2 a year, and somebody always got terminated because they broke a policy, drank too much, or just did something out of control. So don't be that person. You don't want to be the subject at the water cooler after the event. So now let me put a positive spin on why I'm including these events. These events or meetings or happy hours are actually really valuable ways to get to know people in a new way, outside of the office, outside of their desk. So take advantage of others bringing their guard down a little bit. Make new connections. Even while you're there, be like, hey, can we meet for lunch next week? I'd love to continue this conversation. You don't want to hound anybody or take up too much of their time, but it's a really good way to get to know people outside of their office. Now, you don't have to drink alcohol at these events. If you do have one, be casual about it. Don't slam it. Don't be doing shots the whole time, anything like that. Just don't feel pressured to drink alcohol. If you do, maybe have a water in between or something like that. Again, you don't want to be the subject of conversations afterwards. Number 5, care less. Now let me clarify. I learned this lesson from one of my favorite bosses throughout my career. I had been nervous to just speak up in meetings and thinking I was maybe going to say the wrong thing, especially when I was new. I was like that earlier in my career. But you know what? You're not saying the wrong thing when you're sharing your previous experience or sharing your expertise about a certain subject. Now don't talk just to talk, but if you have valid research to back that up and back up your point, speak up and care less what other people think. Number 6, stretch yourself, especially when you don't feel ready. So back when I was recruiting, sometimes we would post a job internally first because a manager was like, let me see who raises their hand for this opportunity. Yet there were so many employees who just felt like they weren't ready for it and were maybe hoping that the manager would reach out to them and say, hey, I think you're ready for this job. But they're waiting for you to step up and you to be interested and show that you're ready for this job. So highly recommend going for it, going for these internal promotions, going for these opportunities, even if you don't feel ready. Go through the interview process, and in the end, if you don't get it, that's absolutely okay, because it goes a long way that you tried and that you went through that experience. They're going to get to know you in a new way, and I guarantee they're going to keep that in mind for your next performance review and when the next promotional opportunity arises. And even better, what if you get the job? It just might work out for you, so go for it. Number 7. Now this one isn't talked about too much, but I really like this one. Think about your own legacy. What will people think about you when you leave your team or leave your organization? What impact did you leave? And what were you the go-to for on your team? If you have to think about this and you're like, I can't really think of that, what do you want to be known for? And start implementing that. So I'll give you an example. If, say you're a people manager today, one thing that's really cool is when a people manager schedules those like skip level meetings, meaning, they work so closely with their own direct reports, but why not schedule some skip level meetings, meaning 2 levels below, as well as 2 levels above. What that does is it creates a domino effect for your career. Subordinates will appreciate you and respect you and spread the word about how amazing you are as a leader. And then those above you will also hear about this, and that reputation will spread, and it will really improve your overall brand within the organization. In all organizations, large and small, people just want to feel seen and heard. Now, that was just one example that you can do, but think of some ways of building your own legacy and what you want to be known for when you leave. Okay, that is it. Please comment below what you feel like was your favorite piece of advice or something you're going to implement next. I'd love to hear. Or if you have even other career advice that really resonated with you that you'd love to share with others, I would love to hear that as well. So if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and comment with any other questions that you have or any other topics you'd like for me to hit in future videos. So I'll see you in the next one.